Startup Journey is an 8-week-long program by Boost Turku that has been running since 2012 and has created more than 100 startups since then. Traditionally, we have 2 tracks in our program, business track and game track. There is a common program that is for both of them to attend, but also there is industry-specific content and mentors for each track. We have 6 teams in business track and 5 teams in games track. And also there will be 2 winners, 1 from each. The contents of the journey goes from heavy dive into validation and customer discovery to marketing, MVP, financial models, funding, and more. A little bit about today's schedule. So today from 4 to 5 p.m. we're going to have game track pitches. Then from 5 to 6 p.m. we're going to have business track pitches. From 6 to 6:30 p.m. we're going to be announcing winners and the community hero. And then from 6:30 to 7 p.m. we're going to have a meet and greet in Remo. So starting with the game track today, I want to introduce game track head coaches who are online with us today. This year we're in hybrid mode, so some people are online. Welcome Taha Rasuli, Ari Arnbjörnsson, and Teemu Kokkonen. Dear coaches, please say a few words about yourself.
Hello everyone, it's so nice and so exciting at the same time to be here as part of the Boost journey. My name is Taha and I'm from Iran, and I've been in the industry for pretty much 2 decades, and I've been coaching a lot of startup teams in my own country for the last 5 years, and we have our own accelerator here. It's been a really fun to be a part of this program. It was an honor, and I love all the teams, all the projects, and it was so exciting. And congratulations to the winner. And to those who are not going to win, just remember that I voted for you. Thanks.
Thank you. Who is up next?
I can go next. So hi everyone, I'm Ari. I'm Icelandic, even though my name sounds quite Finnish. Been living in Finland now for 10 years. I've been in the game industry, like this is my 15th year. Done everything from mobile, doing like stuff like Angry Birds, to free to play on web, doing Facebook, and also console games where I was lead programmer on Returnal at Housemarque. But now I'm at Epic Games as an Unreal Engine evangelist for the Nordics. And yeah, super excited to be here also. It's great to get an opportunity to, share some of this wisdom instead of just having it rotting in your brain.
Thank you, Ari. And Teemu?
Yeah, hi, my name is Teemu Kokkonen, and I currently work as a game designer at Lightyear. I previously was a game programmer, switched to designer. Before that, I started my career as a teacher, so I've been like teaching and then doing programming stuff, mobile games, educational games, and so on. And in addition to that, I am the president of Finnish Game Jam, so I do that stuff here in Finland as well. I'm in Finland, I'm Finnish, and I'm here in Helsinki as well. I'm also really honored to be part of this group of head coaches here. Really excited to see what everyone has come up, and well, I'm really excited to like follow the journey, this journey of these teams here.
Thank you very much, head coaches. Welcome to Demo Day. And let's get cracking. We start with the game track, and we are going to hear the pitches from the teams. And we start with Timi from 4Fin Entertainment. Give it up for Timi.
Hi, I'm Timi Alfers from 4Fin Entertainment. And let me begin by asking you this. Are you aware of Finnish grill culture? If not, then it's about time you learned. If you're a regular player of video games, you're probably as bored as this guy of the same old themes going on around all the games you play. You got games like the run-of-the-mill American war hero story, or, cartoon animals doing crossword puzzles or whatever. But all that wacky and zany stuff leaves a theme to be desired. Ordinary people doing ordinary stuff appropriate to their cultures. So that's why we're creating 𝘁𝗵𝗵𝗆𝘆, which is a fighting game taking place in various Finnish locations where the old and almost forgotten Finnish folk sport of real chaos fighting is the most prevalent. The game is aimed towards people feeling the lack of games themed around local or otherwise underrepresented cultures in video games, as there is a very critical lack of games themed around non-mythical and completely ordinary Finnish settings on the market. 𝘁𝗵𝗵𝗆𝘆 is taking a fighting game and combines that with Finnish personalities that you wouldn't probably even think to exist, full of character and with backstories many people can relate to. And the game can be played locally against a friend, online against a stranger, just like a typical grill fight, or you can just train against an AI-controlled opponent. But if that's not your thing, you can go on an adventure all around Finland and try becoming the king of the grill. Speaking of locations, special attention to detail is given to making the game have an authentic and undoubtedly Finnish atmosphere, with characters parodying common Finnish stereotypes to play as, fighting with moves with no actual merit and kind of martial arts, locations inspired by iconic and common sites within Finland, and with dry but charming humor mixed in there as a cherry on top. Currently, we're prioritizing development for the PC platform and releasing on Steam Early Access as early as this autumn, but also leaving room to expand the console market in the future. And the game will be available for the affordable price of that of a hamburger meal, $14.99 at full release, or an early adopter's discount price of $9.99. And all this will be delivered to you by, contrary to our team name, 5 ambitious and very talented people, all with an educational background in game development, and with a cultural mission to bring cultures and, well, awareness from underrepresented cultures to the gaming world, for fun and for you. So with 𝘁𝗵𝗵𝗆𝘆, you can enjoy the joys of grill fighting yourself from the safety of your own game platform, all the while learning about the wonderful traditions of the people, without the risk of all the missing teeth, serious injury, or consequent jail time. So be sure to check us out at forfin.com. Check out the prototypes there and, well, see what we do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Timi. A great kickoff pitch. And let's hear if we have questions from the coaches.
Well, congratulations on your great pitch. I have a question. Have you ever had a playtesting session with players? And I want to know what is the feedback of the pro players and players who are into fighting games? Have they tried your game, and what has been their feedback?
So are you asking if we have done playtesting sessions from hardcore fighting game players?
Yeah.
Not exactly. We do have had playtest sessions, and we have gotten feedback of them, but our target group hasn't had any hardcore fighting game fans per se. But the general feedback that we got is that the game works well, and the theme fits in very well with the genre that has been chosen for the game.
And what about non-Finnish gamers who are not familiar with the culture?
We do have a few of those as well. What the feedback that we got there is that it's a very fun way to, well, not exactly learn the culture, but just get the feeling of being how the culture works in its well stereotypical day-to-day life. So it's a fun little thing, to say the least.
Do you have more questions? Apparently not at the moment. Thank you very much, Timi.
So hard to come up with questions when you've been meeting them like every other week, and where you've otherwise asked them all the questions that you had.
I mean, you could ask me about something that we've been talking about.
Yeah, I guess. So you're like the primary, like if we're talking about pillars, like first, it's a fighting game, and it has the Finnish theme. For people that the Finnish theme might not be like the primary point that catches them, is there anything else that you're trying to innovate on to really catch people's attention? Like
actually, we do
fighting mechanics.
We do. The usual thing about fighting games is that they're very skill oriented. You need to have a very in-depth knowledge of the game to be good at it. But what we're trying to aim with this game is to have a a lower barrier of entry to the genre itself. So we have a low skill floor and a high skill ceiling is what we're aiming for. We have a simple control scheme only with a few buttons, but the way you use those buttons is, well, the nuance is all there. It gets complicated, but if you just match, I mean, you could, I don't know the word, but it's approachable. And with a mechanic we call the 𝘁𝗵𝗵𝗆𝘆 is something that allows people or players that are, well, falling behind to bounce back, unleashing their inner determination, well, in-game determination, and just turning the tides of battle, or the fight, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, the our goal is to make the game, the genre, more approachable for more casual players.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, great presentation. I actually asked some of the questions that I had, or the question that I had in mind, mostly about the how you're gonna market this to people outside Finland. But yeah, if you have any additional info, like how you're planning to approach, for example, the American market or anything else in the West.
We've been talking about this, yeah, internally. Well, now there's a language barrier here, so we do have contacts in for example, Sweden, and so I'm just going to use that as an example. For instance, if you want to go for Sweden, we don't want to do our own impression of Swedish stereotypes, because that would be very problematic very easily. You could get very easily, but having good communication with natives of some country would give us the best opportunity to expand the same theme, expand the same concept to other countries of the world. So that's basically how we're aiming to expand outside Finland eventually.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tini and the coaches. Next up, we welcome on stage Stefan from Dingas Donkas. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. So today I'm here to present to you our game, Playscape. First, let's watch a quick teaser video so you guys can get a bit of a better understanding what kind of game it's going to be. So the goal of the game is pretty simple. You're supposed to get from point A to point B without dying. Straightforward, right? This is where the gravity part comes in. Playscape's main mechanic allows players to change their gravity with a press of a button. So I hope you're prepared to spend a lot of time upside down. Also, along the way, you'll find these objects that will affect your gravity or jumping ability while you're still in the air. So there's going to be a lot of interesting options for players, and especially those who want to optimize their runs, because they'll have to figure out what works best for them. These, together with wall jumping and our level design, create a fun, fast-paced, and precision-demanding gameplay with endless possibilities for different kinds of combos to perform. Also, we have in-game timer and a death counter added, and in the future, we plan to provide in-game leaderboards for levels and complete runs, just for those who want to take it a step further. There's definitely a demand for these types of games. Precision platformers are easy to pick up, fun, but also offer a challenge for those who want to play it. So for example, speedrunning communities usually tend to gravitate towards them. Playscape stands out from these with its unique, high-octane design and gameplay because it caters to speedrunners and casuals alike. We're going to release a short downloadable demo by the end of August on our website. On the end of the year, we're going to release a beta version of the game. And finally, by the second quarter of 2022, we're going to release a complete version on Steam with a price tag of €5. Let's quickly talk about us. There's 4 people in our team. So I'm Stefan, and my strengths rely mainly on coding, some networking. Sampa works really hard as our lead and only game designer. Emily is my partner in crime in the coding department, and Paavo has provided us with our beautiful art. Isn't he adorable? Lastly, our original great soundtracks are produced by our associate, 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘆. So, if you want to try out our game, please visit our website. Like I said earlier, there will be a downloadable demo by the end of August. Also, we have a Twitter, so if you guys want to contact us from there, please do. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. And let's hear what the head coaches have to ask.
So I'm going to start first because I get highlighted here. So I think it's a sign that I'm the one who's asking the questions. So thank you for your presentation and for your great game. You mentioned that there's a high demand for the precision platformers, and you have very, very fierce competitors out there. I was just wondering that how are you going to stand out, in the community? How are you going to breach the streamers in streaming communities? And because there are so many competitors out there, I know you have some unique mechanics, but I don't think that's enough. You have to do some extra, I don't know, marketing, or so you have to do some extra noise out there. So do you have a strategy for that? What's your plan to enter the community?
So I'd say we want to originally offer everything at like a precision platform is supposed to offer for the casual players, and well, speedrunners will use these mechanics how they want to, but we want to at the same time also like bring the competitive element into it, which usually doesn't happen in these games. Like you have to have like speedrunning communities, for example, to adapt them and make them competitive. We want to offer that in the game itself. And for example, for casual players, we thought we were maybe going to offer like a checkpoint option in the settings to enable and disable if they think it's going to be a bit too hard to use the mechanics and combine them, or like try to figure out how to combine these mechanics into like a unique movement type of gameplay.
So you're going to implement some unique mechanics for the speedrunners into the game.
Yeah, we'll want to see how much we can start bending like the rules in this way, but also bringing like the leaderboards and such will like force players who want to get better at the game to die less and play it faster. So sometimes you can have like both sides play on like the same community, but like on different levels.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you.
I guess I can go next. It's gonna sound a lot like the previous question, but yeah, because there is already a market out there. You do have shoulders of giants to stand on, but also to compete with. And now to get a broad market, games like Celeste have enabled assist mode, basically pioneered it quite well for these kind of games. So for a new game that is going to enter this kind of market, they're going to sometimes have to match this or even like go above that when it comes to either uniqueness or these kind of mechanics. And you already mentioned some of these in your presentation, so feel free to repeat those, but like, how are you going to, because you say this is a unique action, what was it, octane filled game.
High octane design and gameplay.
Yes, exactly. I would love to hear more about the uniqueness part of that.
Sure. So if you break it down into like simple mechanics, you have a jump, you have able to change your gravity, and you're right now combining those two. We added now like an item that allows you to give in like an extra counter. So now you have to like think, when are you going to switch the gravity? When are you going to do your second jump? Or when are you going to switch gravity again to like combine these parts? We think we're going to make the mechanics a bit more like complex. So it's kind of like a fighting game, actually, ironically, where you kind of start combining different mechanics together to get like unique movements. And we're going to force you to basically use those movements or try to like figure out some other combinations that you can get from the point A to point B through the challenges. So we're going to also add traps that are going to interact with those mechanics. So you can't just like cheat through and use your gravity, because the traps will follow you as well. And we want to use this together to bring a core gameplay loop like that feels competitive, but also casual friendly at the same time. So if people want to like speedrun it, make it more difficult, they can try to like combine in so many different ways into creating like a very unique movement, I'd say.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thanks for the pitch and presentation. You talked about a lot of speedrunning stuff, and not sure if this was already answered, but do you have plans on like cooperating or communicating with the speedrunner communities?
Yes, so just like our slide showed in the third quarter, we're probably gonna, or second quarter, we're probably gonna want to build a community through Twitch, through Reddit probably, and Twitter as well. So we want to like take it out there, already test it, see how speedrunners are going to interact with it, how we can improve on it so it's more like speedrunner friendly, so to say, but at the same time maintain the whole image so people don't get too scared of the complexity of the game itself. We're going to probably start with like basic intro levels for people to understand each step on the way. But later on, they're going to rely completely on the knowledge that they learned from these previous levels. And speedrunners, I'm pretty sure, are going to appreciate it because we're going to just make like levels harder, harder, and harder. So necessarily, if you're a casual player, you're going to put on the checkpoint setting on so you can try to do the harder levels on like a couple of goes instead of in a one go.
Yeah, thanks. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity for speedrunning kind of competitions or something for.
Yeah, we're trying to aim for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Stefan and Dingas Dongas. And let's move forward. Next, we want to welcome on scene Miguel from Paperboard Studios.
A Guiding Sorrow. Yes, A Guiding Sorrow is a first-person story-driven detective game. It's developed by us, Paperboard Studio. Here's a snippet of what we have developing. It's a combination of the graphical fidelity that we're upholding ourselves, plus some of the mechanics that we have developed. We have a small community that is helping us with the play testing, and what you're seeing is basically one of the demos that we want to present for online forums to get some feedback. One of the ways that we can describe A Guiding Sorrow is a mystery game, but one of the catchy thing is that we wanted to be set it on Pargas. Yeah, actually, we believe that Pargas is one of those beautiful locations in Finland that will benefit our game. We're already in talks with the municipality of Pargas to actually make one of their towns and put them inside of our game. And we can also say that it's in this manner we can also promote Pargas as you can see, it's really beautiful. We wanted to focus on dialogues. Why? It's one of the things that we believe that is really important in mystery detective games or mystery in the mystery genre. As you can see, other games were really limited with what you can say. But here's a demo or one of those systems in which you can have meaningful conversations with other characters. It's really easy to form questions or sentences, and according to what you say and how you say it, the characters will be able to help you or hinder in your investigation. Our business model. We believe that competitors in our sector, at least in the mystery genre, lack innovation in storytelling. Our system and our hook of the game of how to talk to characters is one of the things that we believe that is really important. Our game will be a premium PC game sold in digital marketplaces such as Steam or Xbox Game Pass, and the price tag is $12.99. The team, we're a group of friends. Yes, we know each other. Myself as the director designer, we have Sarah as the AI programmer and writer. We have Eric as assistant manager, Stefanos as the gameplay programmer, and Adela as a 2D artist. These are some of the games that we have developed in game jams. Parasite 2 is basically our big inspiration, and Tamper's Outbreak is a mobile RPG that we made also. What are we looking for? We're looking for investment. We believe that in 1 year development, we can make our game. In 6 months, we want to have a demo to show on Kickstarters. And we're looking for, as I say, if you're an investor and you see future in us, contact us. And if you're a publisher, you want to know more about us and you want to help us on the marketing, let us know. Here are our contact details, and I'm here to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel. Let's hear it from the head coaches.
Thank you, Miguel, and nice outfit, by the way. It goes pretty well with the mask. All right. Thank you. So my main question is, because you're making a detective game, it's a heavily narrative-based game, and in the team, all the members of the team that you introduced, I didn't see anyone with a background on writing and narrative design. So can you just elaborate on that?
Yeah, we have a team member is going to focus like extensively on writing. Her passion, at least, is doing some writing for her own blog posts and her own stories, and we believe, at least our team believes on her writing skills. So yeah, and it's, as you say, it's one of the things that we need to focus on, making a good narrative.
Yeah, because it's the core, the feature of your game. The narrative is important. And another quick question: is there, have you ever considered licensing your core technology for, the dialect system, the procedural dialect system?
Yeah, that's something that we want to patent, because we believe that this dialogue system can be extrapolated to other genres, not only games, but also systems like digital marketplaces. Like if you wanted some, let's say, AI chatbot type of thing that allows you to ask questions, and like if you see any, there's the difference between just typing something and seeing a chat and the difference between that and actually seeing something that it looks like it's moving and the whole thing. Yeah, we want to patent it and using it on other types of genres, and if we have in mind, yes.
That could, change your business completely. Thank you. I have no more questions.
Yeah, I can go next. You mentioned that there's a lack of innovation going in the competitor market, and so I would love to hear more about you just saying, how are you innovating? I see you have the dialogue wheel, which is great. Are you also going to innovate on, for example, like how are you going to innovate on the narrative writing, for example, or just go wild?
Yes. One of the things that because of lack of time, one of the things that we wanted, that we are trying to achieve with this type of game, is that even though the length of the game is small, we want to have some replayability value, because with the system that we have, it allows you to approach the game in a different manners, and the ways that you can interact with characters and move within the world will be different on each run. So what we want to do is basically have this sort of like world that responds to you, not only what you say, but also what you do. So we believe that in regards of storytelling, we're a product, we have a game that is fairly unique in comparison to other games within the genre.
Yeah, thanks for the presentation and the pitch, and yeah, the outfit looks great. One thing, how are you gonna, or have you thought about localization and how this is gonna affect the dialogue system, or like how different languages, like how do they translate?
Thanks to Ari, this is one of the things that we were talking. And one of the things that we decided from the beginning was that at the beginning we thought that it was good to have an input, so like going into your keyboard and type, but that's going to provoke a lot of difficult things when you have like different languages. I think if you have this dialogue wheel in which you have pre-established words, allows you to sort of like extrapolate it to other types of languages, and I think it's going to be really easy, at least to sort of like put it in other markets, not only in English, but we can also have it in Finnish, actually. So it's like, yeah, it's a.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Miguel, and the coaches for the questions. All right, so we are a little bit over than halfway through our games, track, pitches, and next up we have Joni from Lohi. Welcome, Joni.
Yes, hello, I'm Joni from Lohi, and we're developing a video game called Lohi. And I'm in my mid-30s now, and I like video games a lot, and this applies to most of my friends as well. But whenever I talk to those friends about video games, I always get the same thing, which is, stop talking about video games, no spoilers, I'm only halfway through. And I ask them, how can you only be halfway through the game? It came out 6 years ago. And they tell me, well, I have a marriage, I have children, I have a career, basically I have a life, and I can only play 3 to 4 hours a week. So we decided to make a video game that you can play from start to finish without having to abandon your family or get fired from your job. And that video game is Lohi. It is a short, single-player, story-driven action-adventure game that we're going to be releasing on PC and consoles. Now, Lohi takes place at the dawn of the 20th century in a sleeping Karelian village that is taking its first steps towards industrialization. And those steps are awakening weird and ancient monsters from the woodworks, and it falls up to you, the player, to send them back where they came from. And you do this by running and jumping and rolling and hauling ass across the snowy outbacks, swinging your trusty axe and firing your less trusty rifle while laying down traps and solving puzzles and helping all the local villagers with all their monster-related problems. And all these local villagers and all the monsters are very, very loosely inspired by the Finnish national epic 𝘁𝗵𝗆𝗆. Our storyline is entirely original, so any previous knowledge of 𝘁𝗵𝗆𝗆 is not expected and might actually be detrimental to your gaming experience. We are currently on the pre-alpha stage with our first prototype right around the corner. We're hoping for an early access for next Christmas, and then a full launch at early summer. We're releasing Lohi as a one-time purchase of $7.50 without any microtransactions, and we're primarily going to launch it on Steam. We are a group of 5 game developers. We have a wide array of skill sets ranging from programming to design and visual artistry. Basically, we have everything we need to make our game look and work beautifully. If you're interested, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Lohi Group, or contact us by email. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni. And let's see what monster-related questions arose.
Anyone is supposed to go first?
Whoever has the question ready, go first.
I'd like to just have a quite a lighthearted question. What has been your favorite part of developing this game?
Just the programming, to be honest, and I would love to have done more of it, but here I am selling it.
Great, thanks.
And some of the visual design, like art directions and stuff, now that we're actually getting into it. But yeah, I like a lot of things, almost most things about entrepreneurship and developing video games.
All right. You mentioned at the beginning of your pitch that you're targeting the segment of people who don't have enough time to play games.
Yes, this is correct.
I think we might have lost him.
I'll ask for him then. Can you elaborate on that? How are you going to stand out with that? Oh, he's back now.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, basically making a shorter and more accessible game that you can easily pick up and play. I think it was you, Ari, who gave us the idea that we should have a very simplified and easy to read quest log that you can just open it up, read a few paragraphs, and instantly get back into the game and remember where you left off. And yeah, other things like that. And of course, it's going to be fairly short, so that if you can only play, let's say, 3 or 4 hours a week. If you're a really pro, you might do it in one sitting. Someone else might take 3. But yeah, we're trying to make it accessible.
Cool. And like speaking of the shortness and also the story, and how are you gonna kind of sell the value of the game? Being so short, you kind of know that it's short. So how are people gonna be convinced to get this one, even though it is just a short experience?
I think, yes, there's been a lot of other games that are somewhere around the 5 to 10 mark, and they've cost a lot more than the game we're making. I think is it Limbo had a price tag of nearly 20 euros. It did get some criticism about it, but I think if you go look at Metacritic, it's still at 90 or something. So basically, it's not so much the quantity of game instead of the quality. We're obviously making a good quality game.
Thanks. No other questions at this time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Joni and the coaches.
Thank you.
So last but not least, on the game track pitches, we have Rulin from 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗆 Entertainment. Welcome.
I'm a gamer myself, so naturally I belong to many gaming communities. And the one thing I hear quite often is that my muscles are sore, my neck hurts, etc. And I always tell them the same thing. Maybe you should do something about it. Go for a jog or get a gym membership. However, nothing ever comes out of it. Not moving causes serious health issues, and many gamers don't have the motivation to do so. Studies show that the prevalence of gaming disorder is around 18% worldwide, with only 3% of children hitting their daily activity target. To change this, we give them RunQuest, adventure game for your mobile device that progresses based on steps taken. We offer our players daily motivational goals, weekly tracking, addicting gameplay in a healthy manner, and a ton of things to come back for, such as quests, loot, and a magical world for them to discover. Now, this may sound familiar to some of you because, yes, we do have competition. There are similar games on the market, such as Zombie Run, Fitness RPG, and Pokemon Go. So, how are we different? Well, our target audience are the serious gamers who don't like casual games. They love a challenge, which these games won't offer, but we will. We offer our players complex mechanics and gameplay to bring them back for more. Now, originally, we wanted to make our game freemium with optional ads and microtransactions. However, we're currently not sure if that's the best course of action, as we're still conducting various researches on what would be the best monetization method for our target audience. We will also be testing out the player retention rate and changing various mechanics based on player feedback all the way until our launch in the summer of 2022. Onto our team. Jaro has years of 3D modeling experience and animation. He studied design at the Turku University of Applied Sciences prior to chasing his degree in ICT engineering. For me, prior to pursuing my degree in ICT engineering, I was in the Finnish military, where I worked in a team of talented individuals called the 𝘁𝗶𝗆, where we developed a military training tool called VBS3. This training tool is still used all over Finland for military training purposes. Now, we are looking to expand our team as it's still pretty small. We're looking to add a member with marketing experience on board in the near future. If you have any questions or if you want to follow our journey, follow us on our social media at RunQuest Game. Thank you.
I can start this time. So this is a mobile game. So I guess the question is, like always, how are you going to monetize this?
We don't know yet. That's why we are looking for help. Someone with more experience than us, because we are both programmers. So At least I believe that we are not really fit to make this decision.
Have you considered some options, or like what have you considered, and why have those not been
Well,
valid?
obviously, we will be uploading our game to Google Play and the App Store as well. Those are the options for now. However, we are obviously willing to expand our horizons and have more choices.
Okay.
Are you planning to self-publish your game, or you want to work with a publisher?
We are planning on self-publishing our game.
So if you're going to self-publish your game, you're going to have a difficult time, for user acquisition and marketing on the different markets. Any idea about the ways you're going to acquire users, or how much you're going to spend on user acquisition or things like that?
For now, we are still expanding our various social media platforms, and we'll also be paying for advertisement on platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, etc.
So you're going to make a strong community based on your social media pages, right?
Yeah.
That's the plan. All right, thanks.
One more question, mostly not about monetization, maybe one. What kind of amount of content do you think the game will have? Will it have a limited amount of story, or will it be something else?
Yeah, we are. Even after the release, we'll be still adding additional updates to our game, adding additional zones, more items, more skills for the players to use, and more skills trees for them to access as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So we still have a little bit of time. If there are more questions there's still a little bit time for that.
It's not fair to be asking more questions.
It's fine if you have any questions.
All right. If not, then
I
thank you.
can have one.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well, since it's a mobile game, it's kind of like it's very much expected that you'll go some kind of free-to-play route, because it's very, very hard nowadays to get people to actually pay for their experience up front. And then the question turns from getting them to buy it in the first place to how does the retention work? So have you put any thought into how are you going to retain the players that start with the game?
We believe that what makes people keep playing RPGs is that the players fall in love with the character, right? They become emotionally attached to that character. And how we want to do this is by making every choice matter within the game. It's quite vague, but yeah.
It's an exercise game with a meaningful choices in the story.
Yeah, also character building.
Yeah.
You want to use item X instead of item Y. And those choices have to feel impactful in order for the player to get emotionally attached to that character.
Yeah, I think you should go for a business model as the business model of your local gym, because people are going to exercise with your app and they want to
perhaps.
use it for health. Yeah, we could just go for a subscription, maybe a monthly subscription system like a gym does.
Sounds good.
You can get bonuses to the gym from the game and bonuses to the game from the gym and so on. So
yeah.
make a partnership with all the gyms in the city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar as the head coaches. If I can run one question of my own.
Go ahead.
So I saw that you both have musician background. So
yes, we do.
Who of you writes the music for the game?
Probably the both of us, as we both have studied at the Conservatory of Music in Turku, or not for me in Turku, but for my partner elsewhere within Finland.
Okay, thank you. Looking forward to follow you on social media.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rulin. Do we have more questions before I run?
Even more questions?
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Rulin, and all the Game Truck teams. This has been a great run. Thank you very much, head coaches. Yes, so the first part of our demo day is over. We are now going to have a little bit of break and give the time for the business track teams to prepare and for the head coaches of game track to make their decisions. And we're gonna see you back here online and on site at 5. So see you soon. Welcome back to Startup Journey Demo Day. And there are some new things on the stage. Interesting. So in this part, we are going to have the business track, and I would like to introduce, or rather let them introduce themselves, the business track head coaches, 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗆𝗆 and Turo Numminen. Welcome, Tero and Turo, and please say a few words.
Hi, and nice to be here. I am Turo Numminen from 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗆𝗆, and we are your early stage investor. So we are basically looking for a new early stage companies who build a digital business, and we try to help you to grow. And it's been a pleasure to be here and hopefully give you some ideas, some advice, and when you have a new company looking for funding and or just advice, just call to me.
Thank you.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Tero Karinti. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own company called Collective Ventures, and also investor and board member in 𝘁𝗵𝗆𝗆 Ventures. So we're pretty much in the same table with Turo. But yeah, my main specialties I lie in the startup and small and medium-sized enterprise consulting about growth mainly. It's my second year here in Boost Startup Journey, and I'm so happy and proud to be part of this again, and looking very much forward to hearing those great pitches from the business track. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Welcome. And let's get started with our part 2. We have not 5 but 6 teams on this track, 6 pitches, and we are going to start with Shane from Furniture Music. Welcome, Shane.
Hello. Since the invention of recorded music about 150 years ago, there's always been the limitation that once you record something, it stays like that forever. There's no way to change it. And the only way to get spontaneity from your music is to play it yourself or listen to a live performance. And as a musician and composer myself, this has often frustrated me, and I've longed for a way to have a different kind of musical experience that would react to what's happening in the moment without having to have a live band. So Furniture Music is developing new ways to listen to and interact with the music around you. In this demonstration right here, there are motion sensors that create little melodies when people walk past it. And as the lights go down, there's light sensors that change the bird sounds from ambient nature sounds into a more musical drone type of sound. So this is just a demonstration of how we can use simple environmental sensors to change the way that the music reacts and create a different kind of experience for people. So Furniture Music is concentrating on developing products to do this type of thing. And we're concentrating on markets where the customer experience is of the utmost importance. So spaces like 5-star hotels, corporate lobbies, spas, and luxury design stores. The price point that we're looking at is around 5,000 to 8,000 euros, which is a little bit of a premium over what you can get for the most high quality audio speaker systems, but with our added technology inside of it. Our timeline is thus: we will be demonstrating this product at the Shift Business Festival starting tomorrow. So if you have a chance to come see it in person, I guarantee it sounds a lot better than it does over the stream. This fall, we're actively looking for a furniture or industrial designer from Finland so that we can develop our product with a specifically Finnish aesthetic. In the winter, we will be installing our technology at the Puff Design Store. And this is a pilot test that will give us insights into how customers interact with it, how the owners of the company feel it changes or develops the customer experience, and give us more leverage in developing our product, which we hope to have ready for manufacturing by the spring of 2022. Our team consists of 3 people. So as I mentioned, I'm a composer and developer. I'm just finishing up my degree in ICT engineering, and the reason was to develop musical technology projects. Robin Daniels, my partner, has worked on several music technology projects with me over the last 3 years. And Kate Black is a business development professional and entrepreneur who is also on our team. We are looking for other pilot testers to develop this. So if you have a public or semi-public space that you'd like to try out, please visit furnituremusic.co. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shane, for the presentation and demonstration. And thanks for shout out to Shift Business Festival that starts here in Turku tomorrow. And let's hear what the head coaches have to ask. It's very good to have you here in the studio. So let's start with the round of Q&A.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Shane. That was at the same time very interesting and scary. So first question is, can I take it home so I can scare my wife and kids with it?
Sure, we could
Yeah.
talk about the price
Yeah,
later.
that would be like customer validation at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, very, very interesting. And thanks for the great pitch. I just want to start with the bigger question. Like, I'm going to take a leap out of Simon Sinek's book. You know, he says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So I'm just asking, what's furniture music's like the bigger purpose? What's your why? Why are you doing it? What are you providing to the masses?
Yeah, thank you. The inspiration for the whole thing is to change the way that music is interacted with and listened to. So I can count on one hand the times that I've seen really engaging sound installations that sound good. And the technology exists. We're not doing anything revolutionary technologically, but combining these things to create an interactive experience is something that I just deeply believe should be more present in our world. Much the same way that video games change as you go through the story, the music changes. We can do that in real life, and I think we should, and I think that it will enrich the human experience.
Yeah, thank you. I need to second to Tero that this is really interesting concept and totally new idea. So one question is that what is actually your first product you are testing, and have you been able to validate it? I mean, Tero was interesting, you like it, but is there somebody else who actually is liking it and willing to pay for it?
We've gotten a lot of interest from the people that we've spoken with who have seen the demonstration, and with the Puff Design Store installation, they mentioned that they're interested in purchasing it after they test it out in the store. And I'm hoping that that will also bring a lot of validity with it, having like a store where there's several other vendors inside. We can maybe get multiple businesses to give us feedback from a single pilot test.
Yeah, just a little question about the business model. Thanks for the accurate fees. They're like you said, like 5 to 8Ks for a single unit. I guess.
Yeah.
So is there some kind of continuity in the business model after you sold those units? Have you thought about that kind of business plan? Is there some kind of like extra fees to be taken for the customer? What's the continuity?
Sure. Yeah. So we will be bootstrapping the company to like providing bespoke installation services to stores. And that will help us develop the product into something that can be more ubiquitous in different spaces. And as that develops, we want to work with other musicians, teach them how to write music for this type of thing, and then develop like a subscription service so that you can have this device, have the sound installation, and it comes with a subscription service, which renews the different types of music that you can play through it.
Okay, thank you very much for the questions and the answers. And one small question from me. So is this something you can add to your furniture that you already have, or that's not an option?
Yeah, it is an option. Yeah, we can do custom installations in existing furniture.
Very curious. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. And we continue with Jacob from PocketSong. Welcome, Jacob.
Hi, we are PocketSong, and our mission is to help wine reach a wider audience. We are doing this by creating an artificial intelligence sommelier. Our artificial intelligence sommelier will demystify wine and make high-quality wine-food pairing accessible to anyone, anywhere. Currently, when you want to pair wine with food, you have 5 options. You can ask in the store, you can ask a sommelier, you can ask a waiter, you can try reading it off the bottle, or you can try studying it yourself. I have tried that. It's not easy. And none of these match the modern need for instant and accurate information. So we are here to change that and to show you how. We have our prototype. So what did you have for lunch today? Fish, okay. So I'll type it into the EBC recipe. I'll just type in fish and let's see what's the first. Fish fingers, so I'll choose fish fingers, copy the link, paste it into our prototype, click enter, and it analyzes the ingredients of the meal, and it gives you the, apparently you should have a box wine, and then you click on the box wine, and it also gives you some information to kind of support your learning. And then the important questions, so how do we make money with this? We're hoping to license our solution to large actors in the wine and food markets. We have identified 70 potential customers that would benefit from our solution. Alko is a great example of one of them. And we are currently in the final stages of discussions with them for bringing our solution to their web store and app. So in a few months, when you'll be browsing the online Alko store and you'll see a small digital sommelier in the upper right-hand corner, you'll remember this pitch. And then who is behind this? So William and Tomasz, they handle the tech side, and they have a background in AI and coding. And our previous AI project reached the final of the Corona Innovation Competition. I handle the business side. I have a background in business development, B2B sales, and market analysis, and the wine is handled by Julia. She's a world-class sommelier. She's the 3 times best sommelier in Ireland. She is a champagne brand ambassador, and she has her own app, Som Ninja, which teaches other sommeliers. And also she's the 3rd best sommelier in the world in 2016. So with her world-class wine knowledge, we will build a world-class AI. And if you know someone that would benefit from this, do not hesitate to contact us. And now I realized I had didn't run the slides, but thank you. So yeah, I had slides here, but they were not behind me, right? Okay.
Thank you, Jacob. And let's hear it from Tero and Turo. What are the impressions and questions to the pitch?
Yeah, thank you, Jacob. It was really nice to see your complete pitch this time. And as say, you have a really nice idea. And this is one of those quite high promise ideas. So I'd like to ask, how far are you to making this really work? We don't know if this, I mean, it was a demo, but how can you assure, for example, Alko or big clients that you are able to pull this through?
Yes, so that's where Julia comes in. Like that's one of the main reasons why we had some associations like 3 guys coding a sommelier. So we actually have a world-class sommelier, and that gives us like a high bar that if she is willing to put her name on the AI sommelier, it must be a good AI sommelier because she has like a brand to uphold with her kind of with her name.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Very good pitch. I have a couple of questions about the money side, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, you told us that you have identified roughly about 70 customers, potential customers like Alko.
Yeah.
What's the revenue per customer per year? Have you identified that part? So what's the money like?
Yeah, so of course with Alko, because they're their first customer, so we are targeting much lower numbers, but like eventually we're hoping to do a percentage of sales that go through our AI sommelier, and that can be also de-risking the product to the customer. So by telling them like you get or we take 1 or 2% of the sales that go through us. It's a kind of minimal risk for them to take us on. And what we are kind of guessing is per customer annually, we're hoping to get like low 6 digits. So that's a kind of educated guess.
Okay, thanks. And then like continue to that. What if these distributors like Alka, for example, what if they drop the mic, so to speak, and they decide that, okay, great idea, we do this ourselves, for example. So what's the plan B if that kind of customer base shuts their door? What's your next move after that?
Yeah, we're hoping they wouldn't do that because
it's possible.
It's possible, but the way we differentiate ourselves is because we have the world-class sommelier, so it'll be hard to copy. But in case that happens, we have a few different scenarios. We can go for a standalone app, or then we can also try and go into the restaurant route of like licensing to restaurants, restaurant chains. So there are other options out there, and definitely there will be customers that will try to kind of replicate what we're doing.
And if I may continue, like what are the biggest showstoppers that you have identified? Like that was one maybe that if Alko or somebody else says that, okay, no, thank you. So what other showstoppers have you identified so far?
Another one has been that the actual wine distributors, so the wine companies, they wouldn't be that comfortable with this because we're placing some wines above others. So it might be a kind of a harder sell to the end customer of the customer we are selling to. So because they also need to pitch this to their distributors, and if the distributors do not like it, they will not want to take it on. So that's something, and that we will make it really, really objective and random, and we hope like that's enough to kind of persuade wine distributors to want them to be part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacob. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting a very different vibe from the business track. Really interesting, diverse ideas. And next up, we have Lucas from Biot, and Lucas is online. So let's see if we have him on screen. Hi, Lucas, do you hear us?
Yeah.
Good, welcome.
I cannot share my my video, but I guess that's okay. I'll just start. Hi, we are Biot, and let me tell you about our jacket. I like winter. I love doing winter sports, skiing, skating, ice fishing, etc. But what I hate is being cold, and what I hate more is being too warm because I wear too much clothes. So the simple problem is, if you wear too much clothes, you become hot and sweaty. But if you don't wear enough clothes, then you become cold and maybe even get ill. After adding the various amount of heat your body produces because you're moving, this becomes a really complicated problem. Regardless what winter sports you're doing, selecting the right jacket is really hard. Daily temperature variation can be tens of degrees between day and night. This makes selecting the right jacket nearly impossible. But with our Biot jacket, this won't be a problem. Our jacket will keep you at the perfect temperature. So let me tell you how our jacket works. We use this self-inflation technology. The air pockets in the jacket can be inflated or deflated based on the temperature, and the temperature sensors will detect and react. The air pockets will be inflated when you are feeling cold to keep the heat in, or it will be deflated when you are feeling warm to release the heat. This will keep you at the perfect temperature at all time. There are two types of heating jacket in the market. One is a resistance heating jacket, which has a short battery life, about 1 and 2 hours, and it doesn't work well in warmer temperatures. The other type is a manually inflatable jacket, which will require work from the user. And obviously, one can use a hand pump when they're doing sports. But our Biot jacket is smart. It will do the thinking and the work for you. It also has a great battery life. The current market for the heated jacket is estimated to reach $300 million by the end of 2025, with an annual growth rate of 23%. Our team contains 4 great engineers and 1 who specializes in marketing. Our goal is to make living in cold countries like Finland healthier, easier, and more comfortable. If you would like to know more about our jacket, please follow us on social media at Biot Clothing, or you can also reach us by email, biotclothing@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Impeccable online pitch. And Tero and Turo, what do you have to say?
Yeah, thanks, Lucas. You've been making good progress from the last week we saw. I get the unique selling point. That was good. Good that you brought that up. How do you see yourselves positioned in the market? Like there are huge players in the market like Nike, Adidas, and that kind of things. When you're talking about the big markets on winter jackets, so how can you compete with those kind of giants? What's your plan on that one?
For those large manufacturers, they are working on by improving the material to improve the performance of the jacket. But us, we are trying to use the technology and also with AI to bring like comfortability to the users. So basically, we have a large difference. But there are also like companies who are making like heating jackets with technologies. As I said in the pitch, like most of them don't work well, and we are thinking that we are going to be the best in the market, and also we are the only one who's using pump and also AI in this market. So yeah,
I get the technological advantage there, but what's your go-to-market strategy? Like you need to get your product into the market so that people know about it. What's your plan and strategy about that one? How are you going to go to the market? How are you going to get the attention there?
Yeah, right now we are having accounts in various social medias, and by uploading content, we already had quite a few followers, and also we are also going to like advertise it in multiple other ways. For example, like advertisements in local magazines and also TV programs. Also maybe get some help with the manufacturer on the outlook to increase the attraction on those sports users.
Yeah, and from the investor point of view, have you estimated how much funding you're going to need to get your first jacket in the hands of the customers? So what size of a business we are talking at the minimum?
I don't remember the exact value, but for now we have the technology developed, and since we are just engineers, we are lack of experience in designing the outlook of the jacket. So we are gonna need help on that. And then after we finished everything, we got a final jacket, we moved to manufacturing, and that's like the cost of manufacturing per jacket is going to be about 150 euros to 200, and after that we are selling it about between 600 euros and 700 euros. So yeah, the US team can change our size of manufacturing. I guess that depends on how much we get from the investors.
Okay, just the final question. Have you validated the pricing points with the customers or potential customers?
Yeah, so we are aiming to bring this jacket to those sportsmen, and they already had like their gears for their sports, which are quite expensive, between 600 euros to maybe 2,000 euros. So I guess our jacket can be a supplement to their winter sports jacket, which will have a lower price than their jacket. Yeah, and most of the feedbacks we got, like they are willing to pay the price we said.
Okay, thanks. One more question for me. Have you identified some kind of like different sport that you could be related to, or athletes that you can use? Are there ready-made networks for that one, or are you starting from like scratch with that one?
At the beginning, right now, we don't have a certain sports which we are aiming. We are trying to make the jacket like the inner layer is not the outer layer, or we can make it outer layer to fit like different sports with different pockets or different add-ons. And yeah, but that's not going to be a huge problem, since we already have a working jacket. That's just going to be a outlook design, which we will finish. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucas, and the coaches for the questions. Let's move on to our next team, and I welcome on stage Alexandra from GoPlay.
Hi. Is it strange that a white female is talking in front of you today about multicultural board games? It might be or not. It depends on where you are geographically. But there's a reason for this. I'm a teacher. I founded a kindergarten and I was the principal of it. And this idea, this business idea, actually was inspired by our very young students. In our small educational community, every year we had at least one family with a totally different cultural background. It was also the case that they were speaking languages that we couldn't understand, or we were speaking languages that they couldn't. And we were not the only ones that had to find solutions in order to awaken cultural sensitivity in our students. In 2019 only, 33 million children moved with or without their families from their home countries. And we might think that in a small country like Finland, the percentage is smaller, and there shouldn't be any challenges for the teachers to deal with multicultural aspects, right? Well, we are wrong. In 2017, already 1 in 10 children under the age of 6 living in Finland had an immigrant background. And despite the prestigious Finnish education system, discrimination was actually behind these students' poor school performance in Finland. The problem, though, is not international migration, but how we deal with the increasing diversity in our societies. And this is why GoPlay is creating a solution. Research shows that there is no such thing as talking too early about cultural sensitivity. On the contrary, this is why our first product is meant for students of aged 3 to 6. Of course, we are planning to increase the complexity of our games and also increase the ages of our focus groups. As teachers, we bought and we try to find solutions already on the market, but we noticed that our competitors did not have a multicultural, holistic approach to this aspect. And this is what we are doing. The reason why they didn't do it is that there's a lack of expertise and that big corporations are not interested in investing in research. So far, we've created our MVP. We have here our first prototype. We're actually working on having 3 different styles. So the same rules, but children are going to get to choose which one they like most. We are collecting data. We're planning on finalizing the product next year. And already, by testing our games in kindergartens in Sweden and Finland, those kindergartens are going to be our first customers. After that, we're planning to run a crowdfunding campaign and hopefully sell units up to 100K euros. Our team's advantage is that we are able to create a research-based solution. I'm doing research at Åbo Academy currently, And together with Ramona, we worked in 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝗆𝘆, our Finnish-inspired kindergarten in Romania. And I'm also the CEO of the International Festival of Education. We have already 2 illustrators in our team and a team of advisors. We have advisors that have teaching and living experience in several European countries. What we are planning to do next is to expand the skills in our team and also have a kids advisory board. So we are going to keep close to our end users. If the topic of cultural sensitivity caught your attention, please come talk to us, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and also you can register, join our mailing list on GoPlayPeople.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra, for the presentation and a very, very interesting topic. And let's hear it from our head coaches. What do you think and what do you have to ask?
Yeah, I guess I'm the right kind of audience since I'm a kindergarten teacher by my early education. So this touches my heart. But like I'm a big fan of Plan Bs. So you talked about the direct sales model there, and you've been trying to sell them to Kickstarter, etc., etc. But where do you see these like commercial assets in this one, or have you thought about those like above the direct sales, like licensing fee for the characters that we saw there, or some kind of like digital from games, or maybe bookstores? Have you thought about that kind of things?
Yes, we were very lucky to have people like you and also artists and so on as mentors during this past 8 weeks. So at first we did not consider creating our own characters, to be honest. But then we realized that this is actually one option. And at first, and this is what you can already see, at first we thought of creating like human, non-human characters and so on. So we are like playing with that still. But yes, it is, this becomes actually one option for us to go for art licensing, pretty much so, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And I can see you have a really strong team with with different kind of backgrounds. So it's always interesting to see that. And as I said, I'm also, it's like I really like the project. I really liked what you're doing. And one challenge is also in my mind is the revenue models, and is the other customers like kindergartens, or are you planning some more like direct channels? And for the game especially, are you developing something extra for the, I don't know, for the parents, for the educators? I mean, you could develop a whole ecosystem around this.
Yes, true. The advantage and disadvantage at the same time is that this topic is extremely generous. And as I've expressed earlier, the thing is that there is so much need for this topic to be addressed, like properly, professionally speaking. With the teachers that we've discussed with during the journey, we've realized actually that there's a lot of need and interest for training as well. So the fact that also it was our case that we were not trained to work with multicultural groups of children. Yeah, so we wanted to buy something, but it was not accessible. And what the teacher said was that, yes, we want this product, we want to play with the kids, and we want them to take it home and play with the parents. And this is actually what we've done before when we created monocultural games. So this is something that we've been able to do. And kids were actually selling our game to their parents. So it's kind of working. I think it's very important to be fun because it's a game, to be intuitive and to be educational. But of course, it's not enough. This game, I'm not going to like sell illusions here. This is not enough. This is just the beginning.
Okay, I mean, in that sense, one of the options is also you to cooperate with associations and other actors in this field. I mean, I can see this is a business, but this could also be like more non-for-profit organizational work you could do. So this is something just, I don't know, might be very hard to turn into a profitable business. So think about other options too.
Yes, we are thinking. Yes.
Well, thanks and very well presented.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandra. And moving on to our next speech, Jacob from Team Feedback. Welcome.
Thank you. Team Feedback is an app that employees use to give feedback to each other, but also for personalized peer-to-peer coaching. To start with, Generation Z employees state that they require regular feedback in order to steer their job. But what is more, Corona has made clear that all traditional face-to-face feedback loops needs to be brought online, and this is where Team Feedback comes. We are a brand new tool that is anonymous and Tinderized, and people are much more likely to respond than in other available solutions. But you might say, well, so why are different? First of all, we offer high anonymity. This is the first thing. Secondly, we offer high-frequency peer-to-peer feedback, but ultimately, and most importantly, we did a research. We did a qualitative research. We talked with people, but also with the research with the help of university on a group of 100 people. 50% of them were from the United States, 50% of them went from Europe, and they told us that, first of all, they really like the idea. 80% of them said that they believe that this tool will really help them to increase the quality of projects. Secondly, it will help them to really increase the engagement of people. But ultimately, they say that they really believe that this tool is different because what we do is that we show actually people do not only fill in the survey. It's not like this that they do something and then nothing happens, because then within 2 hours they get the results. So they see what happened, what happens with their feedback. They can see the history of the feedback, how it happened in the future, what happened in the past, what will happen soon. And this is something that they're really excited because they see that this feedback really happens and they can see that something happens with it. It's not nothing. You might ask us, is there a market for this? Yes, it is. So first of all, we counted the total addressable market, which is 276 billion euro. But of course, this is a huge market, so we also wanted to see what is the CAM. It's a bit less because we saw that 30% of Generation Z employees are actually employees are 30% people, and then we also counted the 30% of this, as this is the serviceable obtainable market by us. So this is still a huge number. It's $24 billion. And then you can see the timeline. So we did a lot during Boost Turku because first of all, we did a prototype. Then we did qualitative research, we did quantitative research. We also finished our MVP, and we'll have first test in the beginning of September. So this is something completely new because we'll have 2 companies that will really test our tool. They are not the biggest companies, but there are companies around 20 to 30 people that can test this tool. We are also having a bigger talk with a huge petrol giant, but it's not, of course, it's not an easy talk. So the talks are still going on. And if they all test it, then we'll have a huge first pilot user. But we also really would like to really shape this tool to make our customers' needs. So that is why we'll talk with them. We'll have this pilot testing. But you might ask us if we're really capable of doing it. Do we really? Can we really do it? So that's why we have a team of 6 people. At the beginning of Boost Turku, we had only 2 people on board. Right now, we have 6 people on board. We have front-end developers, back-end developers, AI developers, and we also have an experienced product developer, who has 5 years of experience. And now, right now, I'm asking you to check the teamfeedback.co to check our solution. And if you're interested in having the first pilot session also in your company, feel free to talk to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacob, for a very energetic pitch. And Tero and Turo, who would like to start with the questions?
Yeah, thank you. That was fast, and thank you for the thorough presentation. One thing is that there are existing feedback tools in the company. So are you like a complementary, or are you supplementing, or can they replace the existing ones, or is it something extra the company?
Okay, so at the beginning, we're actually something additional, because at the beginning, we would like to really concentrate on the smaller companies, but also creating projects, so project-based companies. But we really aim to replace those big tools in the future, because we see this market research. Actually, the results came on Friday, so that's why this is something completely new. And it really states that other tools don't show what happens with the feedback. So employees are just feeling it. just fill in the survey, nothing happens because the boss maybe will show somewhere in 3 months or something. And we really show the data, so people are much more engaged. And that is why with this knowledge, we would like to, in the future, outrun these competitors. This is the first thing. And at the beginning, we're also targeting the smaller companies. So I can say that they're like forgotten by God as they are smaller, but they need also such tools. And such competitors don't think about smaller companies, but these companies still have a value. They are creating huge projects, especially IT companies, and such company with 30 people can create a huge value and can create huge profits. So they are also very good companies and also very important for us.
Yeah, thanks. I was just following up with what kind of revenue or price point you are aiming for this tool.
Well, so at the beginning, we thought that it will be €5 per person, but then after the researches, it also showed that it can be even €10 per person in monthly subscription and even €15 per person in the subscription. It's really based on the country and really based on the if this is, for example, the continent, in the United States, people are much more likely to pay more than in Europe. This is what we did during the researches. So there will be even €20 per person, per user. But we also would like to personalize much more. So now we want to work closely with our customers, and that's why the price will be bigger. So this is also something that competitors don't do. They only offer one-time solution that is just done.
Yeah, thanks from my side too for the good pitch. I like the visibility idea of the results that they come like pretty real time. But of course, that doesn't still matter if the leaders or the directors don't do with that something with the data. So is there some kind of motivational side on your tool for the leaders or the directors or team leaders, so to speak, that helps them or like forces them to do something with the data that they get?
You mean the question is if they show the data or if they do something with the data?
Because I've been in companies where the data comes to everybody pretty real time.
Yeah.
Still nothing happens. You know, there are still bad leaders anyway, whether we present the data or not. So have you thought about that? Because if that happens, they think this as another tool that, okay, we got the data like more faster and more accurate, but still nothing changes. So what's the catch for the team leaders and such?
There are, I think, two things. First of all, we live in the world where, especially the branch, generally like the whole environment really changes. So first of all, people really seek for good leaders. If there are not good leaders, people are leaving their jobs. And this is something that also they see the results because it's inherited in our tool. So people see the results. And if they see that there are results, leaders doing nothing, then it's a clear signal you have to change the company. And also this is a signal for HR managers and other people in the company that this manager, for example, needs to be replaced because it's his role to motivate people. It's his role to really do the best possible, because otherwise, yeah, he's not a good manager, then he needs to be replaced. And we aim for a tool that helps good managers become better managers. Of course, we also would like to help those that would like to be better managers to become better managers. But if there is a resistant manager that thinks that, well, I'm the best one, no one will help me, then he's not our target group, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like some kind of like key points for like fast go through of the results or something like that. If you have a good service and the market is hot and it's big as hell, how are you going to get there? What's your sales process? How does it look like? How are you going to go to the market and create the huge amount of sales that you're
Well, this is
targeting?
our idea. First of all, we are having this first pilots, of course. So now we're gathering the data. We know that people believe that this tool might be good, but now we would like to have this first users, first customers. And after this first users testing, we'll have testimonies that they like the tool, that it really helped them. And then with this in mind, showing that, okay, there are 5 companies that used it, it really helped them. Now we can sell it to bigger companies saying that, well, it's a real thing, it really works. And this is our approach, how we are going to do it. Just showing that we really work, really do the job, and we're really helping.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we are approaching the end of our business track. And the last pitch is going to be from Max, from my personal favorite name, What's Popping. Welcome on stage.
All right, yeah, so we're What's Popping. And what we're looking to solve is that it can be very, very difficult to find inspiration if you have a spontaneous date, if you have nothing to do. It's very, very difficult to, on the day, look up anything and actually go out. It's very, very hard for people to find spontaneous inspiration and book a ticket and be out the door at the same time. What we've also seen is that venues have a really hard time maximizing capacity. This is what it's been looking like for the past year. Venues really, really want to make sure that they get butts and seats again. So this is kind of what we're looking to solve. We found that we have a twofold problem. We have venues that have an expiring product. Their ticket basically becomes worthless if it doesn't get sold that day. And we have people looking for inspiration. They need something to do. In order to solve this, we're looking to create a marketplace that allows venues to dynamically shift their tickets and their seats and capacity on a given day and get those in front of people in the local area in order to maximize their sales, essentially, get people out again. So we wanted to find out, how do people figure this out now? And we found that there were three main streams that they used. People go on Google, they go on Facebook, or they read the newspaper. So there isn't one specific channel that they go to see what's happening in their local area. There's a few different channels, but if you're a member of a Facebook group, chances are you're already interested in that thing. So there's a lot of room for improvement there. Venues, they obviously want to sell tickets. This is a great way for them to generate revenue, but this also helps generate things like merchandise, food and beverage. So they want to make sure that people come in the door as much as possible. For this service, we're looking to charge 20% commission on tickets that get pushed through our platform in order to generate revenue at the early stage. However, we do have a few other revenue sort of avenues that we're exploring for later development. We do recognize, of course, there are some big players out there. There's Ticketmaster, Eventbrite, Facebook. However, these are more sort of calendar-based. There's things happening a month from now. There's things that are sold out. And they could also be potential users of our product. If they have last-minute tickets that they want to push, they can go through us. And there has also been attempts at this before. There's been sort of rescue club type of things. There's been local. But they've unfortunately not really hit the timing right, we feel. And we feel that they were also more venue-directed, not experience, not discovery-directed. So that's something that we're looking to try out and solve in order to really move forward with this. The team is very small at the moment. We are looking to expand. But we have myself, who has some experience in service design, as well as some startups with some catering companies that I've started, which also helped me work with a few different events and a few different producers. And then we have my colleague Jan, who has a business background in sales and marketing in a few tech companies, Stripe, Booking.com, these kinds of things. So since we're still testing the market, we are still in very, very early stages. What we've got is we've got a Telegram channel that is pushing local venues and local different events that are happening in order to really get our understanding of the market and sort of build a community first before we start building anything. This is also going to help us get to know the event spaces as well, so that we can, show them, hey, people are interested. So we'd like for you to join our little Telegram group, What's Poppin' in Turku, so you can really see what's going on in your local area, really sort of get a sense of community and really get out there and discover. Thank you.
Thank you, Max. Tero and Turo, who would like to go first?
Well, if I'm starting, well, thank you for the for the presentation. And as you told, there is always this chicken and egg problem. You need to have an audience, and you need to have activities to provide for this audience.
Exactly, yeah.
So have you been discussing what kind of validation you have been on the like on the restaurant or event side, if they are interested joining in, and what kind of terms they would allow you to have?
So we've had some small talks with some events producers so far to try to sort of figure out how we can push their tickets. We're still at the stage where we're building the community. We're not quite large enough to have an impact yet. So we're still at the building community stage, but we have had some initial talks. They do seem interested in a prospect where they can sort of push these kinds of things out. And we're looking to measure this with a sort of traction-based system where people can show the group and we can then see how much impact we actually have. So we have a few tests down the line that we need to perform before we know sort of more information on that.
Okay, so you don't know who will be your first customer. What's your hypothesis? Who will be the first ones to join forces with you?
Ooh, that's a really, really good question. The ones that we're really sort of interested in at the moment, or the ones that we think will be sort of down the line, are ones that are sort of static events. things like hockey or football, stadiums that have a large capacity and they have regular events or sort of regular scheduling. So if we manage to get in with or have some of them to use us as an initial customer, then we'd have access to quite a large, well, we call it sort of inventory, but we'd have a large access to sort of seats that we could then sort of test and push in order to get out. And once you get your foot in the door with one of those, then you're kind of in. So that's our initial hypothesis. But this can, of course, this is subject to change.
You almost stole my question there, but you know, since you're like a choice for the local event organizers, so to speak, like sports club, etc. Could be, but that also means that there's like a huge possibilities, lots of customers, but also lots of customers to contact, so to speak. So what's your like a scalability model? How are you going to get to the market? Again, I've been asking this question for pretty much everybody, but I'm always into the sales part. How are you going to go to the market? What's your strategy on that one?
Yeah, so the way we're going to be doing that is we're still kind of funneling people into this Telegram group. So that's building our sort of initial customer base. That's like our first early responders. Once we've gotten to that stage, we kind of want to grow a little bit organically in Turku first, to the point where we have some sort of, you know, that we start developing some metrics. And then from there, we're looking to target other smaller cities around Finland, like Tampere, and then eventually Helsinki. So that's kind of like our hopeful path to expanding and sort of building it up. We're targeting people like expats and people and like students who tend to travel quite a lot between these cities. So hopefully getting in on those types of users early, that'll help spread it out as we hopefully expand.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. Nothing from me.
Thank you for the questions. We have a little bit of time, so I'm going to allow myself to ask one question.
Of course.
I also work in events, so I think that the main challenge that event industry has now is obviously the COVID. And do you have like strategy for like online events, hybrid events, live events? Like, do you have different strategies for those? Like, how do you see that?
Yeah, we're actually looking to differentiate ourselves by focusing mainly on live events at the moment, just because that's sort of where the time crunch issue really comes into play. If a venue, let's say, all of a sudden gets 20% more capacity as a result of changing regulation, they'd want to fill that 20% capacity, right? So, and they have that time crunch and that desire to do so. So hopefully them using us would help them do that. And that really works mainly with physical events as opposed to online, because those are sort of infinite.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Max. Woof. So these were all the pitches. Now all the pitches are done, and our head coaches are going to decide which one they like the most, and they need some time for that. We thank very much both tracks for the pitches, and now we're going to have a little hello from Boost Board. And also, we are going to find out who is the community hero of 2021, which is an award that we choose annually. And here to tell us all about that is 𝘁𝗵𝗲𝗆, Vice Chairman of Boost Board. Welcome, 𝘁𝗵𝗲𝗆.
Hello. So first of all, I would like to welcome all of us from the board members who are here. Please join me on the stage.
Yanni is coming.
Probably yes. Whoa, I have to say this was amazing. Being part of all or most of your interviews before you join, and now seeing how much you have developed and how much you have been learning, that's really, really an amazing and inspiring thing to see here today. That's why I want to thank you all for all the effort you put into the program. I want to thank you all for being here and for being so enthusiastic about your ideas and your games. And I want to say that no matter what, who is the winner of both tracks, that doesn't mean that the others are not good, but that's not the main point. The main point about this program is it's called the Startup Journey. So it's a journey of learning. And I believe that all of you have learned a lot. So thank you all for this. And then this wouldn't have been like a reality without our team. So thanks a lot to Lee, to Matt, to Julia, to Yami. Please give them a big round of applause here because they are the heroes. They have put a lot of effort to make this happen. They are the heroes behind all of this. I would love to have them all on the stage, but I know that they are taking care of all the matters here, so it's really hard to keep it running on its own. But thank you a lot. And then I would love to thank all the board members. We have only half of the board here today because this is how we work. We are so cooperative board, so half of us are here today with you, and the other half is preparing for tomorrow for shift and for the ES meetup. So they have other tasks to do, but they are with us online at least. So thanks for all the board for being so cooperative board, for being so supportive, and for putting all the efforts to provide all of this for the community. And of course, thanks a lot for all the coaches and mentors. We have had dozens of mentors and coaches during this program and during the previous programs throughout the year. So they have provided a lot to our community. And this is actually all about Boost. This is how Boost works, is to gather all of these talents and all of these enthusiastic people together so that we can provide something of meaning to this community. That's how it works. That's how Boost is developing and getting better year after year. And of this community, there are always some people who are like, we really want to appreciate their efforts a lot. We really want to give them what they deserve as heroes for this community. So it's a board decision, and it's not that easy to choose from all the heroes we have in our community. For this year, we have chosen a person who has been in the board, who had been in the board for a couple of years as a chairperson, and then he joined the board again as a board member. And even after he finished his journey in being part of Boost board, he didn't leave Boost. He has always been part of our events, our development programs, and have always been giving all the support and care to Boost. This person is 𝘁𝗵𝗆𝘆. Unfortunately, he's not here with us today due to all the restrictions and all the COVID things you know all about. But we are really thankful for 𝘁𝗵𝗆𝘆 for all the support he gives. He also have been part of the planning and producing of this program. So thanks a lot to him, and let's give him a big round of applause, please. So he's not here, but he's always with Boost with his heart. We know that for sure. And without further ado, thanks a lot, and thanks for the coaches. And let's enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm still here. So thank you very much, Sameh, and my colleagues on the board for very good speech. And now we're going to, while the coaches are deciding, we're going to talk about what are the prizes actually for both tracks, if you're wondering. So the prize for the game track winner will be tickets to Nordic Game Conference and shortlisting for office at Turku Game Hub here. So that sounds good, I think. Sounds like a good prize. Yes, and the other one for the business track is 2 tickets to 𝘁 in Helsinki and access to Spark Up. So these sound like really good prizes worth fighting for. So let's see if we have any decisions yet. Our game track coaches are back online, and I know that Teemu is going to be the one announcing the winner. So Teemu, was it easy to decide who is the best today?
No, it definitely wasn't easy. We had a good discussion, and like Ari mentioned, like all the teams are like superheroes, and all the games are like superheroes. They have their strengths, but they have their weaknesses as well. So like a big thanks for everyone who's been in here. Like everyone has great potential. Everyone has like, they have the Northern Star that you can follow when you just look at it right. But do you want me to go on to the grand winner?
Yes, I think so.
All right, so we had some criteria, or we had some criteria that we were basing this decision on, and I can read these from the most generic to the least generic, so it will keep this as a surprise for you. So this team, they improved on their teamwork during the program, and they managed to adapt to new information that they got. They can identify their weak spots, and they are able to react to that and kind of find solutions for that as well. They have a novel mission with unique mixture of mechanics, and they're making a good use of the platform and its potential. And lastly, it's a ripe time for a product to get people out of their homes. So our decision for the winner of the game track is Sad Sofa with RunQuest.
Yeah, shout out for Sad Sofa. Please come on stage and say a couple of words. Congratulations.
I'm at a loss for words. I would like to thank the Boost team for hosting this. This was a very nice journey, and we have learned a lot, throughout the months. And I would also like to thank my business partner as well, and my best friend. We hold very high standards for ourselves, and we don't push out things that we feel are subpar. And everything that my partner has done has been nothing but excellent, because he also sets very high standards for himself. And I hope that we can continue working in the future. And we promise you guys that we will do great things in the near future as well. May not be video games, but something.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better than what Roland just said. And I appreciate what Boost has done and what Roland has done doing this. And even though we had our hardships, I'm really, really happy that we won. But yeah, I'm at the loss at words as well. So yeah, I don't know.
It just feels good to win.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I guess you're gonna learn more about how you get your prizes soon. And I have to announce the business track winner. So I saw Tero and Turo went for a little console, and what was the result of that? Who wants to announce?
Yeah, I guess I'll be doing the announcing. So first and foremost, thanks to all the teams. We talked with Turo for a minute there, and we were pleasantly surprised by the progress done in 1 week since our last and final discussion with the team. Everybody, thanks for great pitches. We took a look at this from 4 perspectives. the winner or the best team should have like quite ready-made sales process, at least in their minds, how they're going to go to the market. And they must have done some kind of very active customer activity or validation. And the team has strength and balance at the same time to implement that strategy they have on the sales side, and also clear focus and an identified market spot for their service. So, and that was really hard, to be honest. We had like 2 or 3 pretty balanced options to choose from, but I don't want to keep you guys waiting for any longer. So the winner from our point of view at this year's startup journey is PocketSong.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And also I want to start by thanking you guys for kind of making this possible for us. Like when we joined, we said we want to avoid dumb mistakes, and I think you have helped us do that a lot. And also I want to thank the rest of our team. Like I'm often here speaking, but like even 10 minutes before I came up here, they were still like coding and making changes to the prototype. So definitely putting a lot of hours in. And then also to Julia, that she believes in our kind of crazy vision, and she was ready to join our team, I guess. Yeah. And then of course the rest of the teams for kind of setting a bar for us and like challenging us, giving us ideas. And I think, yeah, just a big thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, winners, and great job, everybody. And I want to say some short closing words. So thank you to all the teams, to all the coaches who put in their time into this, and to our partners, Turku Science Park, University of Turku, Spark Up This Space, and Turku Game Hub. Thank you very much. And then already Sameh mentioned, but I don't think that it's gonna be extra if I mention again, thanks to journey organizers. So give it up for Yami Anderson. Yulia Babrovich, who is back there. I don't see Matt with Kovsky, project manager. Yes. Then Levu for marketing. And then Tini Palsten, Eva Vuorinen, Natasha Skalt. Is any of them there? Yes. And the Boost board, of course, for the restless work through the year. And also, again, we thank all the mentors and coaches and head coaches who took part in the journey and were with us over these 8 weeks. And we want to let you know, guys, that we will have many more events coming up. So you can learn more about that by following us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Boost Turku, or you can sign up to our newsletter on our website, boostturku.com. Shameless plugin. So, and yeah, so now it's time to relax a little bit and celebrate, and to meet our founders in Remo. Link is in the comments and also on our social media. Thank you very much for the evening.